Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back again. My name is Craig. I'm going to be your host for today. This is our MIT Mentoring Recovery Support Group. And this is something that we like to do each week, provide information that can be transformative and that can reshape one's life as they begin the healing process. And so, without further ado, I'm going to share with you an article that was found, and I believe it's going to be very interesting. The information that's going to be provided, and this information is brought to us by none other than the Greater Love Counseling.org. All right, you can go online and retrieve this article from Greater Love Counseling.org. O-R-G. All right. So today's topic, today's title, that is, today's title is The Process. You can see it scrolling on the bottom of your screen, The Process of Healing from Trauma. This is our mentoring recovery support group. And it's so important to talk about, or at least share some information about trauma, because that word or that subject matter don't often get talked about in recovery or in social surroundings. And so this aspect need to be addressed more often. And so today we're going to touch on it just a little bit. We let the professionals be the professionals. So I am a recovery certified peer recovery specialist. And so I'm only here to provide my lived experience as to some of the information that's being provided or the concept. All right, so this article starts us off by saying or stating, the healing from trauma can feel like a big and confusing journey. Trauma can affect your thoughts, feelings, and even your body, often leaving you unsure of where to start. Now, when we say mentoring, we're not just talking about a certain set or group or people or a certain origin of people. We're talking about those who are in the healing process, those who may be coming out of rehabilitation from drug or alcohol addiction, or those who may have be coming out of incarceration, or maybe just those who may need a little guidance. Some people need more guidance or handholding than others, and then some people just need some vital information to get them started. So let's get started. The good news is that healing is a process with different steps, and each step brings you closer to feeling more like yourself again. All right? The process of healing from trauma involves several key phases that guide you toward recovery. It begins with recognizing the need for help and assessing how you're currently coping. From there, it moves to learning new skills for managing emotions, practicing those skills in real life, and continuing to grow through repetition. Each phase builds on the last, helping you regain strength, balance, and peace over time. In this article, we'll walk through each phase of the healing process with simple explanations and helpful tips. Whether you're just beginning to heal or have been on this path for a while, each step you take is progress. Let's explore this process together so you can feel more confident and supported on your healing journey. Right? Let's start the healing process, or let's begin the journey. First topic of discussion: why trauma recovery is a process. Healing from trauma is a recovery process that takes time and often perhaps in layers. I like that. Imagine peeling back the layers of an onion. Each layer represents a different stage of trauma recovery. As you move through these layers, many traumatic memories or feelings may surface, which is completely normal. Each step helps trauma survivors gain a deeper sense of self and work toward healing. It's also important to recognize that recovery isn't linear, all right? Sometimes it might feel like progress is being uh, made only for an old traumatic memory or feeling to reappear, making it seem like you're back at the beginning. This doesn't mean failure, it's simply part of the process. Recovery often feels like two steps forward, one step back. This is really good. Setbacks are a natural part of recovering from trauma and don't erase the progress you have made. Being kind to yourself is essential during this time, right? Take it easy on yourself. Healing can feel overwhelming, and practicing self care is a critical coping strategy. Remind yourself that it's okay to take your time. Give yourself the same patience you offer a friend in a similar situation. Each layer you work through and every step forward builds a stronger sense of safety and brings you closer to peace and strength. All right? Healing from trauma is a journey. Read that again. Healing from trauma is a journey, and each step brings you closer to peace. Let's explore the process in 5 simple steps. All right? I'm going to walk you through it. Step one, identifying the needs to engage in treatment. The first step in healing is recognizing that you need help, especially if the effects of trauma feel overwhelming, whether it's a response to a traumatic event like a natural disaster or post traumatic stress disorder, better known as PTSD. Acknowledging the need for support is a brave and essential step in your stage of recovery, right? Getting help doesn't mean you need to have all the answers. It simply means you're open to exploring ways to heal. Support can come from friends, family support groups, or a therapist who specializes in traumatic experiences. Reaching out shows strength and signals that you are ready to begin your journey toward healing. Learning about what bonds are and how they form can help can also help identify patterns that may need attention in your recovery. All right? Recognize or learning what trauma bonds are and how they form can also help identify patterns that need attention in your recovery. All right. All right. So it's a learning process. Oftentimes, I'm made aware that learning is very vital, very important. Don't limit yourself. I try not to limit myself or become stagnated. Uh, and like the article says, sometimes you feel like you're making one step forward, two steps backward, because it can be challenging. So I like to look at when I'm learning new things, I'm challenging myself to push further, to learn harder, and to become more better than I were yesterday. All right. So we just went over step one, identifying the needs to engage in trauma and treatment. Step two, assessment of current skills and their effectiveness. As you continue your journey to heal from your experience with trauma, it's important to evaluate how you currently manage stress and emotions. This step helps you identify whether your coping mechanisms are truly helping or if they might be adding to your challenges, right? Reflect on your habits. Do you avoid tough emotions, right? Or do you turn to helpful practices like journaling or exercise? For some, therapy techniques such as EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, can provide additional tools to process difficult feelings. This step is about recognizing areas for growth and finding strategies that work better to support your healing. For practical steps to break free from patterns of unhealthy attachment, Explore how to break a trauma bond, right? Explore how to break trauma bonds. And so you have to do an assessment of your current skills and their effectiveness. Are you adding on to something, or are you seeking uh, help to break free of some of the traumatic experiences? All right. Let's go on to number 3, or step 3, that is. Building new skills for self-regulation. I like this one. At this stage of your trauma recovery process, you'll start developing tools to help regulate your emotions. Techniques like mindfulness, deep breathing, or grounding exercise can be incredibly effective in managing the emotional regulation challenges that often follow traumatic experiences. These skills are essential for creating stability and reducing overwhelming feelings. By practicing these techniques, listen up real good. The article lets us know by practicing these techniques, you gain more control over your emotional responses. Right? Regaining your power. You get all right by building new skills for self-regulation. You're learning new techniques to get gain more control over your emotional responses. For instance, dialectical behavior therapy or cognitive behavior therapy, better known as CBT, might include reframing negative thoughts to promote a more positive mindset. Whoever wrote this article, they are very in tune with what is needed for a lot of us. I'm going to just say me, because I need to hear this, because when it comes to CBT, things like cognitive behavior therapy, I like to apply that to my life, because it reminds me of just replacing old habits, old experiences, old perception, and replacing them. Well, I'm talking about negative ones, the old negative experiences and perceptions and habits with positive ones. All right. The article goes on to say, over time, these new strategies, right? We're talking about new techniques and things and strategies, can help you process the impact of trauma and promote both healing and growth. Remember, progress takes time. So allow yourself patience and grace as you master these new tools. With this, what comes to mind is discipline. All right, when he talks about patience, uh, giving yourself time to heal, it really reflects upon a lot of discipline, right? A lot of self-evaluation, a lot of self-talk, positive self-talk, a lot of reshaping, not a lot of rethinking, right? And so that is number 3, building new skills for self-regulation. Number 4, we're moving right along. We have 5 steps that we're going to cover. But number 4 is practicing self-regulation in real life, right? In real life, a real life time. You know what I'm saying? They say I'm lifing or lifing something, however they say it, but in real time experiences, it says practicing self-regulation in real life. Once you develop self-regulation skills, the next step in your recovery journey is applying them to real life situations. You're going to be tested, right? Definitely going to be tested with the knowledge and information that we're sharing. But don't be afraid. The article says life challenges often test your ability to stay steady, right? But using techniques like cognitive behavior therapy or mindfulness can help you navigate these moments with great ease, big calm, right? Practicing these skills consistently helps to reinforce emotional resilience and provides relief from the trauma symptoms that may arise. As you continue this path toward healing, you may notice that your reaction to trauma triggers become less intense over time. This phase involved processing the aftermath of trauma and integrating self-regulation into daily life, a crucial part of trauma recovery. Remember, every small step you take strengthens your ability to manage stress and move toward lasting recovery and healing. Every small step, you know. You don't have to just take matters or situations in leaps and bounds. Every small step this article lets us know. All right. And number 5, repeat and reinforce. Healing from trauma doesn't follow a straight line. It's a road to recovery that often requires revisiting previous steps. All right. By repeating your trauma therapy skills like mindfulness or processing trauma with a therapist, you strengthen your ability to handle challenges. Each repetition helps reinforce the progress you have made, offering a foundation for future growth. This step is part of the trauma recovery process, where revisiting and reinforcing practices lead to greater psychological resilience. Remember, this is our mentoring recovery support group where we come online, we share information where we can restore, reshape, and to rebuild upon our recovery capital, whether it's through sharing information dealing with alcohol or drug addiction, or whether mental health experiences. We're here to give ourselves a complete balance of life, right? And so one may have, I know myself, keep the focus on myself. I may have experienced a lot of things in my past experience that may have tipped the scale more favorable, or during that time more favorable due to the circumstances, situation that I maybe was in. But now I'm living a new life, and so now I'll tip the scale back on this side, and so now it gives me a well-balanced lifestyle. Whereas when I'm finding myself up against situations of past traumatic experiences, now I'm able to respond with better coping skills, and I know how to evaluate them and assess them more properly. And it's not, like the article says, it's not a straight line. So it's going to be bumps and rolls along the way, but that's okay. We got to keep moving forward towards our growth. All right. So where we at? Repeat and reinforce. All right. So it says this step is part of the trauma recovery process, where revisiting and reinforcing practices lead to greater psychological resilience. Remember, this doesn't mean you're starting over. It's a natural phase of healing from trauma. With every cycle, you're building a deeper sense of strength and moving closer to lasting peace and balance. All right. Last but not least, well, almost last and not least, we're going to share with you spiritual and emotional resilience and trauma. That word resilience is one of my favorite words, because I like to look at myself as someone who going through or have been through the resilient process. Spirituality can provide a profound sense of relief and healing during the trauma recovery process. Engaging in practices such as prayer, meditation, or journaling allows you to reflect and connect with your inner strength. These moments of calm and grounding remind you that you're not alone and that healing from trauma is possible. A few intentional minutes each day focused on spiritual resilience can help create a stronger sense of purpose and peace. Building emotional resilience is equally crucial in overcoming the effects of trauma. Techniques like reframing negative thoughts and practicing self-compassion are valuable tools for processing your trauma and promoting recovery. For an example, transforming "I'm not strong enough" into "I'm doing my best," right? And that's enough. Foster a more compassionate mindset. Combining spiritual practices with emotional resilient techniques enhances your capacity to navigate the healing journey, reinforce hope and strength at every step. Final thoughts, all right? Do I have any final thoughts? Well, I'd like to share some what this article has for us. It says, final thought. Healing from trauma is a journey that takes time, patience, and courage. All right, I hope that is inspiring and encouraging, because that first sentence of this uh, final thoughts lets us know. It says, healing from trauma is a journey that takes time, patience, and courage. It's not always easy, but the changes it brings can be deeply rewarding and life changing. As you work through the stages of healing, remember that each step forward is a sign of your strength. Every small bit of progress matters and brings you closer to a place of peace and wholeness. If you ever feel lost or need guidance, know that you don't have to go through this alone. Support is available, whether you're whether from loved ones, support groups, or mental health professionals. Reaching out for help is a brave step, and there are people ready to walk this journey with you. Hold on to hope, lean on your strength, and trust that healing is possible. I'm glad I was able to share this information today, because somebody out there, if you ever watch this, I believe this information is speaking directly to you, because it's speaking directly to me, because I needed it to hear and read that, to reinforce that and reiterate that into my uh, inner peace, because we all need something or someone along the way. And so I hope there is one of those out of the five steps, if not all five of those steps that we just covered. I hope you can apply it. I hope you will apply it and share it. Share it with someone else, because this is about mentoring. It's about pouring it into people, so that we can also don't just pour out. We can also, someone can pour into us as well. All right. My name is Craig, and it's been a pleasure to sit here and go over this material, because I'm quite sure that information there can take someone a long way in life. Because when I look at my life situation, whereas a lot of times uh, I may say to myself, "Wow, you wasted a lot of time. Wow, if you only did it this way. Wow, if you didn't take that path." And that can be a lot of weight bearing on oneself, and you can spend so much energy reflecting on what you woulda, coulda, should have done, and not on what I'm doing at the moment. And so take time, grab the opportunity at the moment, utilize it, reshape it, build upon it, and move forward. Don't allow your past to be a stumbling block for your future. All right. My name is Craig. Until the next time, take care of yourself, love on someone, and then until the next week, please join us at 3 p.m. Each week on Thursday. We like to bring more information to you, dealing with mentoring on many uh, levels of healing and growth and recovery. Enjoy yourself. So long. Until the next time.